Well, it's unclear. Are you taking testimony on both
Yes.
amendments?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I think what you just heard.
Why don't you state your name for the record?
Sorry.
again?
My name is David Frankel. What you just heard displays a arrogance of the executive branch when it comes to at least this specific project, and an ignorance of the law. Listen, the Army Corps of Engineers doesn't care how our state and county laws work, but the way our laws work, regardless of what the Army Corps wants or thinks, is there has to be a state-accepted environmental impact statement before any agency can expend funds on this project. That's state law, HRS Chapter 343. And HRS Chapter 205A, as well as the county's law regarding special management area permits, requires that an SMA permit be obtained before development begins. That's if it's a major project, which I believe this is, the city council has to approve an SMA permit. That's not something the executive branch gets to determine itself whether it's complying with the law. It's this council that has to do that. So it is not death of a thousand cuts. It is a recognition of the legal obligations that the city administration has to follow. And it's a little alarming that some members of the administration don't feel that they should comply with the law. That's really disturbing. And those legal processes are processes that allow the public to comment and participate in details that have not yet been provided to the public. Thank you.
Questions?
I have a follow-up.
Yes, go ahead.
You referred to the EIS being accepted as a condition precedent to any kind of expenditure of funds. What is the status of the final EIS?
So there is a federal EIS. This is a little confusing. There's a federal law that governs how EIS is done for federal projects. But in addition, there's a state law. When you're dealing with state funds and state and county projects, whether it's state land, state money, county money. And just because you've done the federal EIS does not excuse one from doing the state or the state EIS. So that needs to be done. A draft was done but has never been finalized. And in fact, you've heard from various officials that a lot of information and data has been updated since 2017. So the state EIS, because it's 2 years later, needs to be significantly better than the one that was done in 2017 in the federal system, because there's new information. And the project has changed. They've told you that it's changed over time. So there is state law says you cannot expend money on a project or use state or county land until the EIS process has been completed, and it hasn't been. I think part of the issue is there's been a dispute between the state and the counties who's going to take the lead, and it's stuck in limbo right now.
I see. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Councilmember Pine?
So based on what you just said, this resolution is useless then, because this resolution asks us to accept and expend limited state money on the project.
There are a number of strange things about the resolution. Mm-hmm. It is attempting to give the city the authorization to sign the PPA, but it's strange because, one, the legislature didn't appropriate any money for the project, and the state is saying it's going to give money to the city that's never been appropriated by the legislative body. And the other strange thing is it's calling for the expenditure and obligation of money when state law doesn't allow that to happen until these processes are complete. And now the Army Corps may not care about that, but that is a state obligation. So the folks negotiating the PPA with the Army need to say, we'll sign a PPA with you, but we can't obligate any money until state processes are complete. And that allows you folks to retain control so that you can have all the information you need before giving a project like this a green light. You've heard a lot of concerns from the community. You've got to hold the reins, not let the horse gallop off, because you need that information for real decision making.
So you just, based on what you said, what we're doing is we can't pass anything today because it would be illegal.
No, I would prefer you not to pass anything. I was, but
Because you're saying some of the language in here is basically illegal. I mean, we're saying that we're going to accept and expend money. And
The
you
ori-
said we can't do that until the EIS is completed, so
The
we
original
can't do
version-
that today.
The original version of the resolution, I believe, would violate the law, yes.
So, wait, so did the amendment fix that part?
I think the second amendment ensures that the city does not violate the law because it prevents or says the money is not encumbered, obligated, or expended until these processes are followed. Right?
Okay, so we
that-
can't
the-
expend any of the money anyway.
You shouldn't, I think there are people
so
within the city administration who would
we
like
can't
to.
pass anything because we're not really not doing anything.
I'm not sure what you're at. I'm not sure I understand, because I don't know if you're dealing with the resolution or the amendment.
No, I just don't know what the rush is if it's illegal to do some of these
That's,
things.
that's why I said
Based
yesterday.
on what you just said, and I didn't
Yeah.
hear this yesterday, and so
Yeah.
that was very interesting to me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Sure.
Yes, Councilman Waters.
If you don't mind staying for a second. So, I agree with you that this resolution is basically a workaround because the legislature did not appropriate the money, right? They could have. I think the Senate did, the House did not, right?
Right.
So this is a creative way to try to get the money from the state through the governor's office, right? I think so we're all on the same page there. As far as sections A, B, and C, the EIS, all applicable special management use permits, and applicable stream channel permits, they're already required to do that under current law, right? State law.
They are, yes.
Okay. And at this point, that EIS is stuck in limbo, in your opinion, is because neither the state nor the city is willing to take the reign and do that. And then on section, there's A, B, C, D, and E. Just pointed out section E, I've been told by our attorneys that, which says the city has sufficient funding to maintain the project. I've been told that we cannot include that because we as a body cannot tie the hands of future councils. in that regard.
Which is funny, because the PPA actually does tie the hands of future councils, because you are obligated to engage in the repair work, which you have to fund. And so the city attorney's analysis is rather narrow, because either you can't tie future councils or you can. And if you cannot, then you can't sign the PPA, because it binds future councils to fund the maintenance. You're obligated to.
Good point. Thank you.